There are many situations where we compare abortion to infanticide, and in some narrow, specific ways, I think those comparisons can be instructive and valid. But when we are specifically talking about like first trimester abortion, the earlier it is, the more this applies. I think there are major ways in which abortion is not comparable to infanticide. And these differences are very relevant to my position and secular pro-life's position and the position of, I think, a lot of pro-life organizations and leaders when we say that we are against laws that would criminalize women seeking abortion, and in particular laws that would try to charge women with murder and that kind of thing. So some relevant background about me. I have been against abortion my entire life. I now work full-time as an activist trying to decrease abortion, both the demand side and the supply side. I have 2 degrees related to biology, and I bring that up to emphasize that I do think I have a better understanding of fetal development than you could reasonably expect from the average person. And I'm a mother. I have had multiple live births, I've had miscarriages, I've experienced pregnancy multiple times. I say all this to emphasize that I have every reason from a philosophical perspective, from personal experience, from knowledge of biology, to understand the nature of the embryos we're talking about. And it was very notable to me during my pregnancies that in the first trimester, there is no direct experience of your embryo as another human being or as your child. There may be mental, psychological, emotional experiences depending on what you understand of what's going on and what you think about that from a philosophical perspective. But in terms of direct, undeniable experience, it's not there. The direct experiences you're having are symptoms of pregnancy, which are things like nausea and exhaustion. There is no comparison between that and the direct experiences of holding a newborn baby. Now, I'll emphasize again, this doesn't mean that embryos aren't valuable children. I absolutely believe that they are. But it does make a difference in terms of what we are expecting other people to obviously know and understand. And that's without even getting into the other major differences. Like clump of cells reductionism, we have had decades of a society that has insisted that these are not children, these are not babies, these are not even human beings, these are just clumps of cells with no particular meaning. And this includes major cultural institutions, major voices within our culture insisting on this. We're also not getting into the issue of a culture that not only fights for abortion to be accessible, but destigmatizes it. It's not just a necessary evil that some poor, unfortunate souls might have to avail themselves of. It is a fundamental human right of women. There are no equivalent cultural pressures to the clump of cells reductionism or to the human rights and feminism conversation when it comes to things like infanticide. Abortion kills our children, and I want to stop it from happening, both by increasing support for women who are pregnant in vulnerable situations and by outlawing it and making it harder to access. But I and secular pro-life wholly reject the idea that women seeking abortions, especially in the first trimester, are equivalent to murderers.